What's a simple way to get a financial health check just to see where are you? Are you in the right track? I'm going to show you 6 steps, give you some red flags also for how to do just that. Not all of us want to spend hours and hours trying to figure out if you have everything, doing all these Google searches. This is just a really quick and easy way to get a kind of a big picture view of your finances and to see where you're heading. Because remember, wherever your money is going, that is where you're going. So in order to do that, let's see here. First, we need to understand one really important thing. If you haven't heard us say before, is that your income is your greatest asset. So in order for you any kind of wealth building, you have to understand how best to use your income. So that's what we're going to go over in this video. But first, if you don't know who I am, I'm Jackie Elias. I am the CEO of FutureBound, where we love helping you reach mortgage and financial freedom so you can live the life of fulfillment that you really want to live. So let's get into this. Your income needs to cover everything basically in your life, right? Your needs, your wants, your savings, and any giving that you have. So let me go into each of those categories. Your needs are really your housing, whatever, if it's your mortgage or your rent. It's also your transportation. So if you have any car loans, any payments for your cars, like petrol. It's also your it's also your utilities, so electricity, if water, gas, your food. Obviously, you need to eat. It's very important. I wouldn't put under your needs, you're eating out unless that is the main way that you eat. Then you need to put it under your needs. And then the last one, the fifth thing, is your work and school clothes. Okay, so you need, let's say, you think about your needs as if I lost my job and I had just skeletal expenses, what would be on that list? It would be those 5 things. Okay, so wants are really everything else outside of that. You see, I have 2 other categories. They really are technically under wants. Giving is under wants. Savings is kind of a different category. So it's really anything that's not savings and anything that's not needs is your wants. However, I tend to break that category down into wants and priorities. Priorities are wants, but it is, in my mind, it is the things that are really important priorities for you for your finances. So for me, giving is one. I do pull that out as a separate category, and I'll explain why later when I mean. But your wants are really, I also put it under priorities. An example is a priority spending might be if you are working a very stressful job and you like to have a massage every month because it helps you with your well-being. It is not a need, but it is, maybe something you want to put higher on the wants list, that when you have enough money, then you want to make sure you have that massage. So that would be a priority. So then the other thing is savings. Obviously, savings, it's not just storing away in a bank account. It is your seed capital. It is your wealth building money. That's a very important aspect of your income. Also, it is your emergency fund. So this is really about securing your financial future. And then giving. I pull giving out as a particular category. I believe that if you are putting your money into helping others, then that will help you live that life of fulfillment that you want. So I pull giving as a category. Jeff, the founder of FutureBound, and I really prioritize giving. It is technically a want. It's technically a priority spending, but I pull it out and make sure that we are giving, because again, we're trying to help you live a life of fulfillment, not just to reach financial freedom and roll around in all your coins like Scrooge McDuck. Right? So we want you to actually live a life of fulfillment so you can make a difference for other people. That's what helps. That's what makes us really excited to help you reach mortgage and financial freedom. And so that's why we really stress giving as an important way to practice basically helping others as you are wealth building. So let's get into this simple financial health check. The first thing that you need to do, know what are the targets. The targets is 50% of your income going to needs, 30% going to wants, that's wants and priorities, the 10% savings, and 10% giving. So it's really 50% needs, 30% wants, and 20% savings that you might hear from other people. I split the savings and the giving to 10% giving, 10% savings. You can adjust these a little bit. So for example, if you say, hey, Jackie, that's hogwash. I don't really want to give 10%. I want to give some of that money that I'm giving to savings. That's up to you. But this is really just kind of like guide rails to see how well are you doing based on what is suggested. So how do you do the health check? So first you need to list your after-tax income. Okay, so it's not gross. It is at what is in hand. What do you have in hand? So our example is going to be $150,000, let's say, for the year. That would be you and your partner. Let's just say that's what it is. So then the second step is to total your annual needs, wants, savings, and giving. Okay, so you're going to basically just identify all of those expenses in those categories and give a total for each. For example, $80,000 goes to your needs a year, $59,000 to wants, $10,000 to savings, and $1,000 for giving. Okay, well, that's just going to give an example. I try not to do exactly what the targets are, so you can see how we do the check and compare. So then you're going to calculate the percentage of your income for each category. Okay, so our example, what to give you the formula is you're going to use your category total and you're going to divide that by your income. So for example, our needs was 80,000 divided by 150,000, which gives you 53%. Okay. So if you did that for all of the categories, you can see you have your wants is 39% based on the amount, which was 59%, 59,000, you have 39%. Savings was 10,000, so that was 7%. And then giving was 1,000, and that's 1%. Okay, so I rounded up, but that gives you generally the amount. So then you're going to compare the percentage to the target percentages. So to remind you, 50% and compared to 53%, and you're going to do that all the way down. Okay. Then you're going to analyze each category. So now you have your target and you have your actual percentage of how much that category is of your income. And you're going to look at it and you're going to say, what do I think about it? Okay. And again, this is your analysis. This is not me telling you exactly what to think about it. You're going to look to see what, where does it sit with you? And so let's say, for example, our example is what we're looking at. So I might say, okay, 53%, that's close enough. That's on target. That's about 50% of the income. Great. The wants is a little bit over at 30. Oh, I can't remember what it is. I think it was 39%. And the savings is low at 7% compared to the 10%, and the giving is very low, only 1% compared to the 10%. Okay, so that gives you just kind of an overview. Where are those problem areas within the way that I am managing my money? Okay, so I can see that giving's very low, savings is low, and savings is how I build wealth. Ooh, maybe I want to look at that. Then you're going to create goals based on the analysis. Okay, so maybe your needs are 53%. So it is at that target, but maybe I want that to go down. So I want to pay off my mortgage faster. I want to pay off my car loans. Because remember, the big spenders in your needs are your housing and your transportation, right? So if it's that high, then it's probably that you still have a mortgage and you probably have a car loan or two. So you want to be able to pay those off. Maybe I want to keep my wants as is. It's a little higher. It's 39%, but I want to keep that because I'm going to actually increase my savings and my giving based on me paying down my car, my house, and my car loans. Okay. that's just an example how you can look at what you're working with your income once you see what your actual percentages are. Again, this is your financial freedom. This is your thing. So you get to make the rules as to what you want to do. So don't let my example, I mean, you can easily decide to do something else. This is really just a tool that you can look at what's going on with your finances, okay, without getting onto the minute, every little thing that you spend. Okay, that's for our annual spending plan, but this is just a bit, an overview. Can't talk. So here, what are some red flags? Let's say there's some patterns that we can see. So one is if your needs are really high. Again, it's probably because you still have a mortgage and you still have car loans. Okay, so those are things that we want to pay off, and we want to shift when we're wealth building, shift that money to savings and investments, potentially shift that money to giving. It depends on what your profile looks like. A red flag if you have really high wants and that's coupled with low savings and giving, that means you probably are living beyond your means, meaning that you're spending a lot on your wants, but you don't feel like you have a lot left over to give, to save, to wealth build, to have an emergency fund. Likely your savings are quite and you might have only a couple $1,000 saved, $5,000, $10,000 saved as your emergency fund, which really won't get you anywhere if you lose your income unexpectedly and need to live off of your emergency fund for a while. So those are some things to look at as well. If you have low wants though, and you see that there's no or low savings and giving, it's potentially that your house poor. It's potentially that your mortgage is quite high in relation to your income, and so you don't really have much wiggle room there. So that is something to look at as well. For your savings, a red flag might be if it's low, that means that you have an insecure financial future, because remember, your savings is included in your investments, and that is what you're using to make sure that if anything happens, you have an emergency fund, and also that you are building wealth for your secure financial future. And if your giving is low, I would say that your likelihood of having fulfillment is quite low, because you're probably not really focused on how can I give to others. Now, this is not, I'm not trying to make you feel ashamed. I'm not trying to say this is for sure, but this is just some red flags that you might want to look at. So a real life example, is, this is actually my a couple screenshots from my annual plan, or our annual plan. You can see here what I do when I am trying to look at a snapshot, this simple financial health check. I color code the expenses. So green is wants, this yellow is priorities, and reds are, green are needs, yellow are priorities, and red are wants. Okay, so I do that so I can easily go through and just total based on the colors there, and then I put the information in. So you can see how I have electricity, internet is a need, firewood because I come from a desert and I don't like being cold, that's a need, and Netflix is a priority, and Spotify is a want. Okay, so again, you can see the example for food that we did there. Okay, so so then when I did a percentages for our actual finances, I can see here that it is 26% needs, 37% wants and priorities, 29% savings, and 14% giving. Okay, so when I look at those numbers, I am very happy that our needs are low because we don't have any car loans, and our mortgage is getting paid off faster. So we have a very small mortgage, and our wants and priorities are kind of high, which I'm kind of okay with because our needs are low. And our savings and our giving is way beyond, I shouldn't say way beyond, 14% is way beyond, but it's beyond the targets there. And so I'm happy that we are almost the same amount of our wants is for our savings and investments. So I'm actually happy with the trajectory of where we're going. So that gives you an idea of kind of what you might do. So this is our actual numbers. And so my goals might be Actually, we want to continue to pay down our mortgage, obviously, and it's going to come down even more as far as the percentage of our income. So we're really excited about that. And we're going to shift that money into our savings and investments. Hopefully, that means that we'll be able to increase our giving as well over time. Oops, I keep scrolling with my thing. So hopefully that means that we will be able to continue to give at this level and potentially increase it. Um, but that's pretty much our goals at the moment, is to keep paying down that mortgage. It's almost paid off, so we're excited about that. And then um, go ahead and just keep building wealth with our savings that we have from there. We already have an emergency fund, so we don't need to continue adding to that. So we're actually in a pretty good spot. So um, what I do want to say is that the easiest way to do this is to use an annual spending plan. You can use ours, you can download ours, go to our website, futurebound.co.nz, under resources, and go to our downloads and get our annual spending plan. Potentially where you're watching this, there's a link that you can click on and get right to the download page. But the most important thing is that you have an annual spending plan. It gives you an ability to tell every dollar where to go. You give every dollar a name, and then you have a plan for the whole year. So you don't get to the end of the year and say, where did that money go, right? I hate that feeling. And so I like to have ahead of time, know where I'm going, because I actually want to reach, I actually want you to reach financial freedom, mortgage and financial freedom. So then it has to be intentional if you're going to do that. So please do download the annual spending plan, fill it out, and then you can color code it the same way that you saw that we did. It's up to you. Again, this is your financial freedom, so you can decide what to do. But it does make it easier. You can just see everything there. Once you download this, it is an Excel spreadsheet, and there are links to videos that shows you exactly how to do that. We also have a blog article that explains to you how to use the annual spending plan. All right. So until next time, you guys, thanks for watching, and see you soon.
For more financial tips, advice, and education, subscribe to us on YouTube and don't forget to hit that notification bell.